On Tuesday, the 16th of September 2025, we are talking on Coffee Time with Peter Gomez to Yaya Sonko, migration activist. You mentioned the Spain circular migration. Let's talk about it. What about the Spain circular migration?
Uncle Peter, we should, as people, as government, as a country, it's time for us to take responsibilities when we fail. With due respect to the Honorable Minister and his technocrats, I'm not against them. You know, I listened to his the entire press conference. At some point, they were trying to bring me in, of my interview with other media houses. But look, it's a failure. The government failed. The Ministry of Trade failed.
How?
Not only the youths failed.
How?
Here, Uncle Peter, it did not only start at the abscond. Remember, when this, in 2024, late 2024, when this deal was announced, the minister was at the National Assembly. There were series of issues that were raised during that conversation between him and the parliamentarians, the honorable parliamentarians, basically. So, but after that, there were so many lapses, failures from the government side. First of all, I call it misinformations. Why I call it misinformation is simply because you saw that after the minister visit at the parliament, there were, should I call them agents or fake agencies that were charging Gambian citizens, to pay thousands of dollars. Some are even saying we saw receipts in social media of 150,000 Gambian dollars.
The highest I saw was 50,000.
50,000, okay.
Which was sent to me. And
yes, I understand. So basically, but let's even say 50,000. That's a lot of money here.
When it was supposed to be free.
When it was supposed to be free, yes. Basically. And, not even those agencies who were charged. Look, if government.
And these were agencies apparently approved by the ministry.
By the ministry.
Yeah.
Let's go to spade. Yeah. So, and secondly, that alone create a big problem. It was not the Gambia government that first debunked that. It was the Spain embassy. In the first press release was from the Spain embassy in the Gambia, clarified and debunked those claims. And then after a few days, the government came up with a press release. So basically, the failure started from there. Not only that, the narrative.
Well, they accepted that it was wrong for these partner agencies. I say partner because these were agencies formally recognized by the ministry, to have charged. And they promised that every butut that was paid was going to be, they were going to ensure that these were paid back. Now, whether that happened or
not, we never know.
We can't.
That's
establish.
Communication failure. Government should not, at first, that should not have happened. At first. Because clearly, the government, I believe they read these agreements. I believe they went through it. I believe there were so many consultations between them and their partner, that is the Spain government. So, to me, that should not even happen at the first place. Secondly, when this deal was...
So let's just say that was, a failure to communicate.
Yeah.
But then where does this misinformation thing that
I am coming.
on?
Yes, I am coming.
We may not have all day, so let's go straight to what...
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically what I'm the misinformation here is not like the government specifically, but there are a lot of misinformations. Okay, around this circular migration. At the time, example, okay, the narrative in Gambia is like the government was ready to help thousands of or hundreds of thousands of Gambians through this labor migration agreement to go to Spain. I was the one. Okay, let me say I was part of the people who bring out the figures. Because we also have our sources, okay, with the partners. So I had this interview with Standard and other newspapers in the Gambia. I revealed to them it was not even hundreds. This is a form of a pilot. The first phase is a pilot phase. And that pilot phase was just for Spain, the Gambia. There is a committee responsible for this whole thing. It's called BLA committee. Okay, that is Bilateral Labor Agreement Committee. So they had a meeting with the Spain embassy here. And it was put to them that Spain would be ready to offer for the pilot project phase. Spain was ready to give only 50 visas for a pilot phase. But the government always wait for you, for me, to clarify or to bring some of this. It should not happen that way. If our citizens...
But when they say, through bilateral labor agreements, they would help thousands of Gambians, Spain, UAE, Saudi Arabia, now we are hearing Poland and whatever, and thousands could start with only one.
Yeah, but...
It could start with only one. So if they're sending one to Spain and they're sending only one person to Spain, it doesn't mean that it stops with that one person.
Yeah, Uncle Peter.
One can go, the next time 100 can go, and not just to Spain,
Uncle
to
Peter,
UAE. So cumulatively, you could hit those thousands.
Yeah, for sure, in near future. But that's where the problem is. The government can make it... This is government.
They don't communicate clearly. That's what you're saying.
They should...
Not communicating clearly and misinforming are two different things.
Okay, so the government should have communicate very clearly to the Gambian public. Okay, that's what. Let's make that clear. So they, to me, they fail to. That's why, and that communication problem. That is why you saw hundreds of our Gambian youths were, jumping fence.
Hundreds?
Yes,
thousands.
Okay.
Thousands.
Okay. So
I had the minister sit where you are sitting now, and before him, the permanent secretary was here. We did a lot on this, and they both, for the first application phase, thousands, not hundreds.
That's not fair to me. I said that's not fair to Gambians, youths, okay? To me, because Gambia government did not clearly communicate this message, thousands of our youths...
But what about the opportunity to send job-seeking Gambians to Spain, to UAE, to Saudi Arabia, eventually to Poland? This would be through regular migration.
Yes, I promote regular migration. I work currently...
So this is a positive development that may not be being handled the way it should be handled
it was handled properly. That's where, to me, that's where the government failed. Hadn't been, it was handled properly. Okay? Uncle Peter, the pilot phase, the Gambia government should have taken their time. I said they rushed the deal. The minister said, no, they did not rush the deal because it was in 2024, it said February to...
If they were set a deadline, they had to act before the deadline.
Yeah, but was there any deadline? We don't know. Okay, so, but here what I am trying to say is, okay, labor migrations, you don't need to rush them. Gambia is not the only country that benefiting from this labor migration. Our neighbors, Senegal, Morocco, you name them, okay, there are different countries. Gambia is last, in fact. But those countries, up to today, those agreements or, the process is still going on on those countries. Because to me, and to my research, I would say that they do their homework better than the way our people do it. Look, people don't even trust their recruiting process. You hear it everywhere that people are claiming or people are accusing that probably there are nepotisms and stuff like that within the recruiting process. Surprisingly,
yes,
I heard from the minister himself, surprisingly, that his driver was part of the people for this first batch.
Where did he say this? During the
press conference. He was even asking that did he even come? Or I think they said so that. But
so the driver applied, but he did not succeed in leaving the country.
He went. The driver, the minister driver, He said it. This one not even my words. The minister was saying that because he was answering a question from one journalist who said that people are saying these people don't come back because they don't have job. He said no, it's not about the job issue. There are jobs in this country. What Dr. Ismail Assise said today is the same thing he repeated. He said people don't know that there are jobs in this country. What is the problem? Is that collecting data in different aspects, okay, is the problem. He said that, can you imagine my driver, a minister driver, is part of this? To me, that raises series of questions or vindicate the allegations people are making outside that this might not, in fact, be transparent. If if thousands of Gambian citizens or Gambian youths apply, today the minister is telling us, as Gambians, that I'm not saying the driver is not a Gambian citizen.
Generally speaking, that people close to him, had the opportunity to take advantage of the law. Okay, let's move the conversation on. Because you tell me that later today, a plane will leave Germany.
Yes.
With Gambians that are being repatriated forcibly or voluntarily?
It's not voluntarily. This is forceful deportation. It is today, Germany, EU, of course, Germany with the backed by European Union, announced that today a chartered deportation flight will leave Germany, Frankfurt Airport today, and will land here tomorrow, early mornings of tomorrow, 1 a.m.
Do you know with how many Gambians?
Usually chartered deportation flight, because I visited some of these people shortly prior to my holiday here.
Some of the people who might be on that plane heading back to...
In almost every chartered deportation flight that landed in this country, I do go to deportation prisons, deportation camps, visit our brothers.
So they are detained usually in camps, prisons, before weeks, they are put on planes back to the Gambia.
They arrest them, park them together for weeks before. So, of course, to answer your question, today there is a chartered deportation flight that should land tomorrow, early mornings of tomorrow, that should land at Yundum International Airport.
With how many Gambians? That's what I want to know.
There is always, the numbers are always between 20 to 25 Gambians.
That many?
Yeah, that many, yes. And this is not just...
Minimum 20, up to 25.
25. And Peter, this is not the first flight. There was this is going to be the fourth flight for this year alone. And 2024 was worst, Uncle Peter. 2024...
Last year,
12 chartered deportation flights landed in this country. 12.
So minimum 240 Gambians were sent back last year.
Yes. That was chartered deportation. When you go to the statistics of Germany, last year alone, Germany sent more than 400 Gambians back to this country. Deportation happens in different formats. There are chartered deportation flights and there are individual deportations. Individual deportations are people they deport through commercial flights, basically. So, deportations continue to happen daily basis in Germany. Yes, so to answer your question, there is a flight that should come.
And why do you think there's an uptick, in the number of flights coming back? Does it have to do with the fact that Europe now considers the Gambia a safe country?
Part of that, but not only that. The argument for European Union, I had series of consultations and contacts, workshops. Thank God I also I'm privy to so many informations through different channels of my work. Okay, so EU experts, government will tell you that there is agreement signed between European Union, not Germany as a country, but European Union and the Gambia government. And this agreement is called the Good Practice, which of course, if 2017 to 2021, the government was denying that they did not sign any agreement, that lead to deportation. But in 2022, both ministers, when I say both, that is the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Tangara, and the former Interior Minister, Yankuba Sonko, were in the parliament, the committee responsible for diaspora affairs. At the time, this committee was chaired by Honorable Sidia Jara, and then they officially agreed that yes, the Gambia government signed a bilateral agreement with the European Union called the Good Practice. And because of this, one of the main, and in fact, when these youths are arrested, being processed for deportation, they do inform them. Some of them who are having lawyers, they will inform their lawyers that, yeah, one of the major reasons that this deportation process is going on is simply because, yes, one, they rejected their asylum, but it's also possible because their government signed an agreement with the European Union called the Good Practice, and part of this good practice, we are able to, we have this authority to deport them.
All right, and so there's another flight coming back to the Gambia tonight with Gambians being, sent back home against their will. Do you think there's a willingness on the part of government to collaborate with Gambians in the diaspora like yourself who are working with migrants?
I would say they are trying. To me, in my view, I'm very fair to them. Yes, I do criticize when it's necessary, but they're trying. More especially, to be honest.
How do you mean they're trying? What do they do?
Last 2024, they visited Europe. That is the directorate, the directorate responsible for diaspora at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Was that Musa Kamara?
Yes, at the time. Now it's I think Ndumbe. Now it's Ndumbe. Musa is moved to Brussels.
Okay.
So Musa time, they visited Germany, and they had a series of consultations, meetings with us, tell us what are their plans and stuff like that. Not only that, Professor Gibril Fall was also in Europe to meet us, of course, with collaboration with the Gambia government and other stakeholders, basically. So there were initiations going on to see how best they can inculcate the diaspora.
So there's political will on the part of the government to engage with diaspora voices like yours.
Yes, they try. Okay. I am in serious. Some of these informations or some of these things before I even come to media, I call them. Okay. Different ministries. Okay. I am in contact with Ministry of Interior. I'm in contact with Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Through their channels of communication.
In the 5 minutes remaining, talk to us about your office. You said at the beginning of the conversation you have an office in Stuttgart, I believe.
Yeah. I have an office in Stuttgart called the Gambia European Center for Jobs, Migration and Development Agency. What we do is, Uncle Peter, there are more than 18,000 Gambians officially living in only one region in Germany called Baden-Württemberg. So this region is contain the highest in terms of numbers for Gambians, and that's where I live. This is around Stuttgart area. So
do you need national ID cards in that? 18,000 is a lot, because national ID cards are being given out in
we're crying for this
in Mauritania,
but they are not considering. I think they are not considering that. Yeah, Gambian in that. So now they're coming up with another scheme, that is passport. Biometric passport, and that, of course, I encourage that too, because that we need that. Gambia, this normal passport, non-biometric passport, EU countries like Germany are really disturbing Gambians with it. Okay. They sometimes reject it.
These machine-readable passports, yes. They are having less and less use in Europe.
Exactly. Okay. So what my office do is,
between the passport and the national ID card, which one would you prefer?
I would prefer passport, biometric passport.
Okay, all right.
Yeah,
passport.
Yes, to make it short. Yeah. So my office, what we do is we give guidance and counseling to hundreds of Gambians. Daily, Gambians will come to our office to seek for guidance, and of course, we are not lawyers, but we can also easily get them in contact with migration lawyers, asylum lawyers, deportation lawyers, when it is necessary. And there are different document processes and procedures. When I mean documents is resident permits. So there are different resident permits, processes and procedures that we do help them, guide them to fill their forms. So, Germany is a bureaucratic country, and it's very hard to many to understand how some of these bureaucratic nature things work. So we give those guidance and counseling. We support them. Not only that, we have initiate or been part of, from 2019 to date, I have been part or initiated to repatriate 24 dead bodies back to this country.
Dead bodies?
Dead bodies.
Corpses?
Yeah, corpses, exactly. People who died in Germany and their families need their dead bodies here. We facilitate, through collaboration with their families and friends, to help to repatriate their dead bodies. So these are some of the things that we are doing in Germany.
How are you funded? Where do you get your money from?
Okay, we also have our sources of funding in Germany. We partner with our other donors. We partner with people that are ready to support us in their NGOs, and Germany is a social system. So basically, we also use that system to, and whatsoever from that office.
And what about the staffing? Mainly Gambian, or
it's not a big office.
Mainly German.
It's not a big office. It's just a small office, and
how many staff? How many of you? Up to 5?
For now, we are only 2, and we give chance to one Gambian here who is here doing our, we do so many things. So sometimes we need certain processes here too, basically. So I would say we are 3. It's just a small office that we are offering. So we don't have that financial muscle to
And your activities are not just limited to Germany. You go to other European countries, Italy, for instance.
Yes, I travel to Italy.
So who funds, your
mostly
your
myself.
movement?
Mostly myself.
Oh, really?
Yes, mostly myself. If this is my initiation or our office initiation, something like this. But sometimes if, example, EU do invite me, or other organizations do invite me, IOM and others, do invite me to go to meetings, workshop seminars within EU. So if that happens, then they have to give me that financial support.
Right. And just finally, you've urged government to take responsibility, the leadership. What concrete steps would you like to see taken against backway migration?
The back way is the government should take responsibility of creating jobs, sustainable jobs, not just jobs, but sustainable jobs. That's one thing. Secondly is the government can officially go for a lot of which they announced that they are already doing that. There are different legal pathways that Gambians can benefit from. This year alone, I helped 13 Gambians who are already in Germany in different programs this year alone. If I can do that, if our office can do that.
In what kind of programs?
There is different programs. Example, in Germany, there is a program called au pair. This is a job, official job in Germany, like a babysitting job.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I help about 4 people to come to that. I help this year alone. I help 2
to travel from the Gambia to Germany.
Yes.
As au pairs.
Yes. Yes. They are doing their work. They are fine, and legally there. So I help this year 3 people to get house building, that is vocational training, which is 3 years professional training in Germany. Okay, so there two university students, they want to do their master's program. So basically, these are some of the things that we do. So if we
what does it take for government to know about the existence of these programs and then, work with Germany in a more formalized manner?
Let them just, sometimes...
Or do you want them to empower your office?
They don't need to empower us. Okay, what they need to do is, Gambia government, they always start things. Honorable Sidia Jata and the team were in Germany a few years ago. They talk about so many things with Germany government. You can call Honorable Sidia Jata. He will tell you this. There are so many things, not only deportation, but also, how to, labor migration like this. Few months ago, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs was in Germany with parliamentarians, that is Tangara. Again, I was told that because I met them, this team. They invite me to be in Berlin to meet them. So I met them. So I was told that part of their negotiation or discussion was labor migration. Okay? So basically, there are, in Germany, countries like Ghana, Rwanda, Kenya. It's very rare to see a Kenyan or Rwandan in Germany and other countries that they said, I come through back way. There are different labor or let's say legal pathways that Gambia government can discuss with their partners. And I think if Ghana can do it, Rwanda can do it, definitely we can also do it.
Well, you could say I went to Germany back in the early 90s through a labor, bilateral labor agreement, because Deutsche Welle wrote to Radio Gambia to let me go there and do 2 years. 2 years became 4 years, 4 years became 6 years until I decided to
President
come
Barrow was
back home.
once also in Germany.
Not on a bilateral labor agreement. It was a totally different
I
whatever.
understand. I
All right.
understand.
Yaya, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Uncle
And
Peter.
good luck to you. And Yaya Sonko brings us to the end of today's edition of Coffee Time with Peter Gomez. Thanks for watching.
Jar Oil. The company have filling stations across the country, and our rates are relatively cheaper than anyone else across the country. Jar Oil is the biggest producer and distributor of cement in the country with the most competitive prices in the market.
Excellent jam, si Wave.
Yo, Abla, yo, luta do dede. Luta mënuloo jël moto nga andil ma xaalis. Hello? Ana lay waxal.
Bisul mu fine.
What?
Bisul mu fine.
Yes!
Wave acts in Gambia. Deposit and withdraw money, pay bills, and buy mobile credit without fees. Transfer money wherever in the country for only 1% fee. At Wave, Bisul mu fine. Wave, your money is yours.